We're on the precipice of the spring market. The cherry blossoms are just starting to emerge, and holy smokes, is there a lot happening in the world of Victoria real estate right now. I'm so glad you're here with me for this one, as there's a lot to unpack today. The Airbnb ban is less than 60 days away now. The condo market is stabilizing, and it looks like we may have hit the bottom there. Condos are only down 1% this month. And for the first time in over 6 months, there's been a sale at the Janian building, which has sort of become the poster child for the whole short-term rental industry in Victoria. Townhome sales are surging right now, up 14% month over month, and detached homes are up 7%. We've had more sweeping changes from the BC government, including the home flipping tax that will tax profit on sales within 2 years of ownership. I think that one's mainly for optics because there's so many exemptions for it, and it really only applies to a small number of sales each year. What I think will have a much more and bigger and meaningful impact is lifting that archaic $500,000 limit for first-time buyers' property transfer tax exemption to a much more reasonable $835,000. Buyers of brand new homes will also see a transfer tax exemption boosted from $750K to a much healthier $1.1 million. These incentives could be more fuel for the fire on that surging townhome segment, aka the missing middle, and maybe they'll help boost the condo market as well. In this market update, we'll see how each segment is performing and also look at a few significant sales throughout the region as well. Please take a moment to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get out there and see what's going on. Even though home prices are going up, it's still a rather balanced market out there for buyers. Real estate guru Leo at House on Victoria. By the way, if you don't read that blog, I highly recommend it. It's probably the best blog to get information and stats about Victoria's market. So he shared that only 1 in 10 homes are selling for over asking price. But it really depends where you look. In the core, 40% of homes in that $900,000 to $1 million range are selling over asking, and it's also very competitive in the $700,000 to $900K range as well. And that's certainly what I'm seeing out there. Lots of multiple offers on townhomes, and it supports why we're seeing a 14% increase in this segment. Inventory levels are improving. We have over 2,300 homes for sale right now in Victoria, which is 30% more than this time last year. With interest rates relatively stable now, and a lot of people even optimistic that they're going to come down this year, I think inventory will be the key metric that dictates just how the spring market unfolds. If we get a good, steady supply of homes, I don't expect the craziness or multiple offers that we saw a few years prior to be the norm. But for example, if only a few quality townhomes hit the market each month, then that segment will continue to be competitive because they get so many eyeballs, so much exposure, and ultimately so many offers on just a few homes. A few examples of those townhome sales: this one asking $899K in Broadmead, sold within a day, unconditional. And this one in Langford was asking $750K and sold for $767K. And this definitely would not have been the case back in December or even January. So this is a new trend that we're seeing. If that's a first-time home buyer, they could be saving upwards of $6,000 in property transfer tax that they weren't before. So the new rules could cause some more upward price pressure on these price points. Over to detached homes, prices are up 7.4% since last month and 2% since this time last year. Any detached homes in the core under $1 million get snapped up quickly, like this home in Oakland, asking $835 and went for $860K. And this one by Uptown, which was asking $750 and sold for $800K. But it does look like there's decent inventory in that $1 to $1.2 million range, and those take about 2 to 3 weeks to sell. So there's a little bit of breathing room and definitely a little bit of room for buyers to book a showing and write an offer with conditions. Buyers still don't have much tolerance for overpriced listings. I see a lot of price drops each day from sellers who are still trying to get and cash in on those sweet early 2022 peak prices, and it's just not happening. Price accordingly though, and you likely will sell relatively fast in this market. For condos, there's some signs of life in this market. As I mentioned, there was a sale at the Janian. The Janian unit sold for $344K, and just down the street, one at 595 Pandora. The short-term rental ban has now been priced into these buildings. There's no more surprises here. And that's really good news for the owners here since they can see things selling again. It definitely was looking pretty depressing and the situation was pretty dire back in November, December, when people thought that the prices would just keep plummeting and plummeting. We're less than 60 days away now from the ban, and I'm curious to see if we'll see a flood of new listings until that point or not. Anything could still happen in this market. We just don't know. Condos are down 1% month over month and down about 2% from this time last year, so relatively flat. There's a ton of rental developments being built in Victoria now, and several big condo developments coming online this year, such as the Nest and the Haven. But if the market can withstand a little bit more oversaturation, then I think it's going to be in the clear, because there's really no more condo developments downtown Victoria until at least 2028. If you are buying a condo, I just updated my Victoria condo report for 2024. It ranks all 1,100 condo buildings in Victoria by year-over-year appreciation and helps you decide which ones make the best investment. There's really nothing else quite like this available to buyers right now. It's free to download. The link to the PDF file is below. I want to hear your experiences out there. If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, are you encountering multiple offers, or are you still able to get a deal in this market? There's a lot of mixed signals going on out there. There's a lot of different segments performing differently. So I would love to hear your experience and stories of what you're seeing out there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.